Hey boys and girls, this page may look familiar to you. Recently, I've asked you to demonstrate to me that you can determine the amount of interest fees on a home loan, aka mortgage, and determine a monthly payment for the home. And really more than that, I've asked you to try to calculate down payments based on the cost of a home and the percentage that was put down towards purchasing the home. I've asked you to calculate um, monthly principal, the loan's principal after the down payment, and then the monthly principal. Uh, and I've asked you actually also to calculate interest on a loan, which is 4% of the loan or principal. And I've asked you to calculate these fees in a yearly way and then a monthly way. Or rather, I've asked you to calculate these fees yearly and monthly, including taxes. So today I just want to take some time to really just model to you and show you what I would do and my thinking in terms of, calculating these figures. And then really, instead of teaching you and going too far in depth into, exactly why I'm doing what I'm doing, you can actually take time to think about why I am doing what I am doing. And I'll briefly explain a little bit, but I thought just mathematically, for computation's sake, I'd run through this lesson, at a fair pace and let you determine some of the rationale behind my actions. But I'll chime in with that as well. We did pretty well on this as a class the second time we attempted it. And when you guys shared your knowledge and made your realizations, there were some really neat ones. And let's go ahead and begin. So, determine the monthly payment based on whole number values. So we're taking whole number values and we're trying to convert them to monthly payments. So I have a cost of a home is $300,000. 10% is going to be a down payment. I'm going to pay for 10% of $300,000. I know that 10% of $300,000 would be $30,000. This leaves me with a loan or a principal of $270,000. I've already paid for 10% of the home, 1/10, 10/100ths of the home. Now I've got 90/100ths or 9/10ths or 90% of the home left to pay. 90% of 300,000 is 270,000. My term is 30 years. I'm going to spend 360 months paying back this value because I've already put down that. So I've got 360 months to pay back $270,000. Now you'll learn, not this year, but you will learn perhaps when you get older in other math classes or even just as part of life that when you buy a home you have to pay interest fees, and what you actually end up paying for the home is a lot more than what it was sold for. A home like this, in which I've got to pay $270,000 back, I'm probably going to end up paying $500,000 to the bank by the time I'm done paying this off because of interest fees. And that's not something we're going to get too in depth with. I'm teaching you a very an unscientific way to calculate these figures. We're not going into an official way. We're using this more for estimation purposes. Because they have tools and they've invented tools and they have jobs for people to actually calculate this number or these numbers. But anyway, so what would our monthly principal or our monthly loan be? Well, if our loan is $270,000 for the rest of the duration of the loan, I have to ask myself, what would my monthly principal be? So I'm going to take my loan and divide it by 360. And I'll take my calculator out here. And I'll do 270,000 divided by 360 $270,000, which is a loan, divided by 360 months to pay back this value. And it looks like that I'm going to pay $750 a month in just principal, the loan's value. Okay? Now we get into a very interesting situation with interest. The way I'm going to teach you to calculate interest on this home loan is not scientific. It is just for estimation purposes. 4% of the loan, or there's an interest or a fee similar. We've studied interest as kind of like a tax or a fee for a loan, and the bank is going to charge us or give us a fee of paying 4% of the loan. So the bank lets us borrow or gives us $270,000 to pay back. Well, the bank's going to charge us 4% of $270,000, and I find out what 4% of $270,000 is, and I find out that's $10,800 in interest fees. In a finance class, you'll learn the difference between something called compound interest and simple interest. We're just going to look at this as a yearly fee. Okay? Not a fee of 360 months of 10,000. We're not going to look at this as a 30-year fee. We're going to look at this as a yearly fee. Now, the monthly interest, if the yearly is $10,800, I take this value and I'm going to divide it by 12 to find out the monthly value. Again, this is just an estimate. And we find out that it's $900 per month in interest. In reality, the interest wouldn't be that high on this type of a home per month. It would be a little bit lower. And I'm not going to get into the explanation of how or why. We're looking at that's financial math, and I'm not equipped to teach it, and I don't know if you're equipped yet to learn it. And then we've got taxes, $4,800 per year. If we look at it on a monthly basis, I'm going to divide my taxes by 12, and I will end up paying $400 a month in taxes. What I really want you to understand from this is that when you buy a home, you're responsible for paying back the loan's value, the interest on the loan, that's the fees that go right to the bank. That's how banks make money, by the way. And then any monthly taxes. I add these three values up, and I'm going to end up with a final estimated monthly mortgage payment. So I'll add my $750 just for the loan or the principal, as we've studied in class, $900 for the interest, and then $400 for the monthly fees. And roughly speaking, we would expect to spend about $2,050 a month coming out of our checking account to live in this home. This would be our mortgage payment. Okay? That's it for now. Stay tuned for another lesson. I just wanted to show you how to calculate monthly figures, or a rough calculation of monthly figures based on yearly values. Thanks. See you later.